1973. A private training facility in Los Angeles. Muhammad Ali stood in a boxing ring, surrounded by reporters, trainers, and curious onlookers. Word had spread through Hollywood that the greatest was about to meet the martial arts legend everyone was talking about, Bruce Lee. Bruce stepped through the ropes, 5 feet 7 inches and 140 pounds, facing Ali's 6 feet 3 inches and 210-pound frame. The size difference was almost comical. Several people laughed nervously. This had to be a publicity stunt. Then Ali did something that shocked everyone. He dropped his hands to his sides, completely unguarded, and smiled that famous smile. "Go ahead, Bruce. Show me what you've got. Hit me." What happened in the next 5 seconds would create one of the most legendary moments in combat sports history. Not because of who won or lost, but because of what both men learned about respect, skill, and the difference between movie magic and real fighting. Before we dive into this incredible encounter between two legends, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This isn't about who would win in a fight. It's about mutual respect between masters of different crafts. Drop a comment telling us where you're watching from, and let's explore what really happened. 1973. Two legends at their peak. By 1973, both Muhammad Ali and Bruce Lee had reached iconic status in their respective fields. Ali had regained his heavyweight championship after being stripped of it for refusing to serve in Vietnam. His fights against Joe Frazier were legendary. He was the most famous athlete on the planet. Bruce Lee had just completed Enter the Dragon, the film that would make him an international superstar. Though he wouldn't live to see its release, he died tragically in July 1973. Bruce had already revolutionized how the world saw martial arts through his philosophy, his speed, and his undeniable screen presence. Both men were aware of each other. Ali had seen Bruce's films and was fascinated by martial arts. Bruce had studied Ali's fights obsessively, using footage to analyze footwork, timing, and distance control. They represented the pinnacle of their crafts. Ali in professional boxing, Bruce in martial arts cinema and philosophy. The meeting had been arranged by a mutual acquaintance who thought both men would benefit from meeting. For Ali, it was curiosity about martial arts and the man everyone said was impossibly fast. For Bruce, it was a chance to meet the greatest boxer alive and perhaps learn something that could enhance his own understanding of combat. The cultural context. The early 1970s was a unique time for both boxing and martial arts in America. Ali had become a cultural icon who transcended sports, a symbol of resistance, excellence, and black pride. His influence extended far beyond the ring. Bruce Lee was introducing mainstream America to martial arts philosophy and technique. Before Bruce, most Americans associated martial arts with McDojo strip mall karate schools. Bruce showed them that martial arts could be beautiful, philosophical, and devastatingly effective. But there was tension between these worlds. Many martial artists claimed their techniques could defeat boxers. Many boxers dismissed martial arts as choreographed dancing. The debate raged in magazines and gyms across the country. Who would win, a boxer or a martial artist? This meeting between Ali and Bruce was a chance to address that question, not through actual combat, but through demonstration and mutual exploration. The gym gathering. About 30 people gathered at the gym that day. Reporters from boxing and martial arts magazines. Trainers from both camps. A few Hollywood celebrities who'd heard about the meeting. Everyone wanted to witness this historic encounter. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation. Some people expected fireworks, maybe even a real sparring session. Others hoped for philosophical exchange. Everyone was curious about what happens when the greatest boxer meets the greatest martial artist. Ali arrived first, as was his nature. He loved making an entrance. He worked the crowd, shaking hands, joking, performing his usual showmanship. "Where's this Bruce Lee everyone's talking about?" he called out. "I heard he's fast. I heard he can kick. Let's see what he's got." When Bruce arrived, the room went quiet. There was something about Bruce's presence that commanded attention despite his small stature. He moved with absolute economy, every gesture purposeful. He greeted Ali with respect, bowing slightly in the traditional martial arts manner. Ali grinned and extended his hand. "No need for that bowing stuff, Bruce. We're just two fighters meeting each other. Come on, let's get in the ring and see what you can do. The initial exchange. In the ring, Ali towered over Bruce. The physical disparity was stark. Ali at 70 pounds and 8 inches on Bruce. His reach advantage was enormous. In a real fight, these advantages would be overwhelming. They tell me you're fast, Ali said, circling Bruce with those famous fluid movements. They say you can do things nobody's ever seen. So show me. Don't be shy. Bruce smiled. Champ, I've studied your fights. You're one of the fastest heavyweights in history. Your footwork is incredible. I'm honored to share this ring with you. The mutual respect was genuine. These weren't two men trying to prove superiority. They were two masters of their crafts, curious about each other's skills. But Ali, being Ali, couldn't resist turning it into theater. He dropped his hands completely to his sides, leaving himself totally unguarded. The crowd gasped. What was he doing? Go ahead, Bruce. Ali announced loudly enough for everyone to hear. Show these people what you've got. Hit me. I won't even defend. Let's see if your martial arts speed is really as fast as they say. Bruce's dilemma. Bruce Lee stood there, faced with an impossible situation. On one hand, Ali was literally inviting him to strike, a demonstration that could showcase martial arts speed against boxing defense. On the other hand, Bruce understood something the crowd didn't. Even a demonstration strike against Muhammad Ali was fraught with complications. First, there was respect. Bruce genuinely admired Ali. He'd studied the champion's fights, analyzed his techniques, and incorporated boxing principles into his own Jeet Kune Do philosophy. Hitting Ali, even in demonstration, felt disrespectful. Second, there was the practical reality. Bruce knew that if he threw a full power strike and actually hurt Ali, the consequences would be severe. Ali's camp, the boxing establishment, the media, they'd destroy Bruce's reputation. He'd be painted as a cheap shot artist who'd attacked an unguarded opponent. Third, there was the knowledge that this wasn't a real fight situation. Ali dropping his hands was theater, showmanship. In a real fight, Ali would never do this. So what would this demonstration actually prove? But the crowd was watching. Ali was waiting, that confident smile on his face. Bruce had to do something. The 5-second sequence. What happened next was so fast that different witnesses later gave slightly different accounts. But the essential sequence was this. Bruce shifted his weight almost imperceptibly, moving into a position that would allow a strike to Ali's midsection, the closest target given their height difference. His movement was so smooth that most people in the crowd didn't even notice he'd changed stance. Then Bruce's hand moved. Not a full power strike, but a demonstration of speed and precision. His fist flicked out toward Ali's solar plexus, stopping approximately 2 inches from contact. The speed was remarkable. Several people later said they didn't see the hand move, just Bruce's arm suddenly extended. But here's where it got interesting. Ali's body reacted instinctively. Even though he dropped his hands and invited the strike, his core tightened. His weight shifted back slightly. His eyes widened just a fraction. These were the reflexes of a champion fighter. Automatic defensive responses that happened faster than conscious thought. Bruce's hand stopped. Then, in a movement equally fast, Bruce's left hand came up in what looked like it would be a follow-up strike to Ali's face. Again, it stopped inches away. Again, Ali's body reacted. His head moved back. His hand started to come up before he consciously stopped them. The entire sequence took perhaps 5 seconds. Bruce had demonstrated a speed with 2 strikes that Ali's body had reacted to despite his conscious intention not to defend. Then Bruce stepped back and bowed slightly. The crowd's reaction. The gym erupted in conversation. What had they just seen? Had Bruce actually hit Ali? How fast was that movement? Why had Ali flinched when he'd said he wouldn't defend? Ali's own trainers were discussing it excitedly. Did you see how fast that was? One said. I barely saw his hands move. The martial artists present were analyzing Bruce's technique, the precision of his placement, the control he'd shown in stopping the strikes. But the most interesting reaction came from Ali himself. Ali's response. Ali stood there for a moment, processing what had just happened. Then that famous smile spread across his face, not the showman's smile, but something more genuine, something respectful. Bruce, Ali said, loud enough for the crowd to hear. That was impressive. I've fought the fastest fighters in boxing, and I'm telling you, you're as fast as anyone I've faced. Then Ali did something unexpected. He asked Bruce to do it again, but this time, Ali would try to defend. I want to see if I can catch your hand, Ali explained. Just the first strike. Try to touch my stomach, and I'll try to block it. Bruce agreed. They reset. Ali took a more normal defensive stance this time. Hands up, weight balanced. The crowd went silent again. Bruce moved. His hand shot out toward Ali's midsection. Ali's hands dropped to block, and they were late. Not by much, maybe a fraction of a second, but Bruce's hand reached the target area before Ali's block arrived. Ali laughed, genuinely delighted. Again. Let me try again. They repeated the drill 4 more times. Each time, Bruce's strikes were fast enough that Ali's defenses were always just slightly behind. Not because Ali was slow. He was one of the fastest heavyweights in boxing history, but because Bruce's strikes came from unconventional angles with no telegraphing. The teaching moment. After the demonstrations, both men sat on the ring apron, and what happened next was more valuable than any sparring session could have been. They talked technique. Bruce explained how martial arts strikes work differently from boxing punches. Boxing teaches you to generate power from rotation and weight transfer. Bruce said, that's effective, but it also means your body telegraphs the punch. I'm trying to strike without that telegraph, to hit from where my hand is, without loading up. Ali nodded, fascinated. But in a real fight, can you generate enough power that way? Because hitting me with a fast tap isn't the same as hitting me hard enough to hurt me. Bruce was honest. Against someone your size? Probably not with hand strikes to the body. That's why in a real situation, I go for vulnerable areas, eyes, throat, groin, places where size doesn't protect you as much. Smart, Ali acknowledged. So you're telling me you wouldn't try to box with me? You'd fight dirty. Bruce smiled. I prefer to call it fighting smart. Why would I play your game when I can change the rules? This exchange, captured by reporters present, would become one of the most insightful discussions about fighting philosophy ever recorded. Both men acknowledged the other's strengths while being honest about limitations. What they both understood. The beautiful thing about this encounter was that both Ali and Bruce understood what they were really exploring. This wasn't about who would win a fight. In a boxing match under boxing rules, Ali would dominate. The size and power difference was too great. But they were exploring something more interesting. Different approaches to combat. Different philosophies about movement and striking. Different ways of thinking about how to hurt another human being. Ali understood that Bruce's speed and precision were real and impressive. Bruce understood that Ali's size, power, and professional fighting experience were overwhelming advantages that technique alone couldn't overcome. Neither man felt diminished by these acknowledgments. Instead, they were energized by the exchange of ideas, the mutual respect. After about an hour in the ring, demonstrating, talking, exchanging ideas, Ali and Bruce emerged as genuine admirers of each other's craft. Ali told reporters afterward, Bruce Lee is the real deal. His speed is incredible. His control is amazing. He's a true martial artist, not just a movie star. Bruce's comments were equally generous. Muhammad Ali is the greatest boxer of all time. His footwork, his timing, his understanding of distance. These are things every martial artist should study. I've learned more from watching his fights than from most martial arts instructors. But more than just compliments, they'd formed a genuine connection. Over the following weeks, Bruce would occasionally visit Ali's training camps when he was preparing for fights. Ali would ask Bruce about flexibility training and speed drills. They'd become friends, bonded by their shared excellence and their understanding that mastery in any fighting art deserves respect. The legend born. The story of Ali and Bruce's meeting spread through both boxing and martial arts communities. But like all great stories, it got embellished in the retelling. Some versions claimed they'd actually sparred, and Bruce had held his own. Others said Ali had knocked Bruce down to prove boxing superiority. The truth, that they demonstrated techniques respectfully and then discussed philosophy, was less dramatic, but more meaningful. It showed two men at the peak of their powers being secure enough to acknowledge each other's strengths without feeling threatened. Jean LaBelle, the legendary martial artist and stuntman who was present that day, later said, "What made it special wasn't the physical demonstration. It was watching two masters recognize mastery in each other. That's rare. Usually, fighters are too insecure to admit someone else is great." The lessons they taught. What Ali and Bruce demonstrated that day influenced a generation of fighters. The key insights were: 1. Speed from different angles beats straight-line speed. Bruce's strikes came from positions that boxing didn't train for, which is why Ali's reflexes were always slightly behind. 2. Size and power are real advantages that technique must account for. Bruce never pretended his speed alone would beat Ali in a real fight. He understood he'd need to change the context of the fight to have a chance. 3 different fighting systems have different strengths. Boxing is incredible for what it does. Martial arts offer different tools. Neither is superior. They're designed for different purposes. 4. Mutual respect between masters is more valuable than competition. Ali and Bruce could have tried to prove who was better. Instead, they chose to learn from each other. Bruce's tragic death. Just months after this meeting, in July 1973, Bruce Lee died suddenly at age 32. The loss devastated the martial arts world and robbed us of seeing what else Bruce might have accomplished. Ali, when he heard the news, was genuinely shaken. He released a statement. Bruce Lee was a special person, a true martial artist and a good man. The world lost someone unique when he died. At Bruce's funeral, several members of the boxing community attended to pay respects, unusual for that era, when boxers and martial artists rarely mixed. Their presence was a testament to the bridges Bruce had built between different fighting communities. The real victory. The story of Ali and Bruce Lee in the ring teaches us profound lessons that extend far beyond fighting. 1. Secure people celebrate others' excellence. Ali was the greatest boxer alive. He had nothing to prove. So when Bruce demonstrated impressive speed, Ali didn't feel threatened. He celebrated it. Insecure people diminish others to elevate themselves. Secure people recognize excellence wherever they find it. 2. True mastery includes knowing your limitations. Bruce never claimed he could beat Ali in a boxing match. Ali acknowledged that Bruce's speed and unconventional techniques were impressive. Both men understood their strengths and limitations. That's wisdom, not weakness. 3. Different doesn't mean better or worse. Boxing and martial arts are different approaches to combat. Neither is inherently superior. They have different rules, different contexts, different strengths. The mature response is to appreciate differences, not argue about superiority. 4. Respect opens doors to learning. Because Ali and Bruce approached each other with respect rather than ego, they both learned valuable things. Ali gained insights into martial arts philosophy. Bruce deepened his understanding of boxing footwork. Respect enabled growth. 5. The fight not fought is often the most meaningful. They could have sparred for real. They could have tried to prove who was tougher. Instead, they chose demonstration and discussion. That choice created a legacy more valuable than any fight outcome would have been. Modern relevance. Today's mixed martial arts, MMA, has proven many of the principles Ali and Bruce discussed. The most successful MMA fighters combine boxing with martial arts techniques. They understand that different situations require different tools, exactly what Ali and Bruce were exploring in 1973. More importantly, the best modern fighters show the same mutual respect that Ali and Bruce demonstrated. They acknowledge that a wrestler might beat them in grappling, a boxer in striking, a jiu-jitsu specialist on the ground, and they see these acknowledgments as opportunities to learn, not admissions of failure. What this means for you. You probably won't face Muhammad Ali or Bruce Lee, but you'll encounter people who are better than you at various things. The question is, how will you respond? Will you feel threatened and try to diminish their excellence? Or will you celebrate it and learn from it? Will you argue about whose approach is better? Or will you recognize that different approaches serve different purposes? Will you let ego prevent you from admitting when someone else has skills you don't? Or will you be secure enough to say, "You're really good at that. Teach me"? Ali and Bruce showed us the latter approach. Two legends at their peak, secure enough in their own excellence to celebrate excellence in each other. The 5-second legacy. Those 5 seconds in the ring, Bruce's demonstration strikes and Ali's instinctive reactions, created a legend not because of dominance, but because of mutual respect. It showed the world that the greatest fighters aren't the ones who need to prove superiority over everyone. They're the ones secure enough to acknowledge greatness wherever they find it. Your turn. If this story changed how you think about competition, respect, and learning from others, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Share this with someone who needs to hear that celebrating others' excellence doesn't diminish your own. Drop a comment. Who's someone whose skills you admire, even though they're in a completely different field than you? What have you learned from them? Remember, Muhammad Ali, the greatest boxer of all time, openly celebrated Bruce Lee's speed and skill. That's what real confidence looks like. Secure enough to honor excellence without feeling threatened. Be that person in your own life. See you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring stories of legends who understood that true greatness includes lifting others up, not just dominating them.